When the term Mandalorian comes out, perhaps you would think of Din Djarin from the Disney Plus series. But thousands of years before his time, there was another, and his name was Canderous of Clan Ordo, later known as Mandalore the Preserver. And this is his story. Canderous of Clan Ordo was born on the Mandalorian planet Ordo about 4,000 years before the Battle of Yavin. Like any Mandalorian, he was raised and trained to be a warrior from a young age, akin to the Spartans of ancient Greece. At the ripe old age of 13, he went through the rite of passage known as Vagotan, which was essentially sending these freshly trained child soldiers to the front lines of combat on board these massive war machines known as Basilisk war droids. Wearing barely 6 inches of armor, Canderous was dropped from orbit onto the battlefield, where he scored his first kill and gained his honor in combat. This is the experience that will begin his journey as a hardened Mandalorian. In the years leading up to the Mandalore Wars, Canderous gained a reputation as being one of the finest warriors in his clan. His skills were even said to be second only to Mandalore himself. He eventually worked his way up to the rank of commander and was assigned the role of a fleet tactician rather than a mere foot soldier. And he also had a rather unique encounter with a UFO when he was hunting smugglers and pirates in the Crispin system, where they encountered an unknown ship that flew so fast none of the Mandalorian vessels could catch up to it. It would later be confirmed that these were the Yuuzhan Vong, an extragalactic species that could not experience the Force. Canderous continued to distinguish himself in combat in the early years of the Mandalorian Wars, notably an engagement against Althea, where he defeated them decisively despite being outnumbered. During the course of the war, the Mandalorians employed brutal tactics, slaughtering civilians and combatants indiscriminately. This is the Mandalorians' response to what they perceive as cowardice by Republic's troops to base their defenses around large population centers rather than face the Mandalorians in open battle, leading to entire planets being decimated. The Mandalorians nearly brought the Republic to their knees with their ferocity. But this all changed when the Jedi joined the fight. Employing equally brutal strategies of their own, the Jedi Revan managed to turn the tide of the war decisively against the Mandalorians. Canderous personally admired Revan for such a feat and held no grudge against him, but there are other Mandalorians who would be less kind. And with the war over, the clans were disbanded and disarmed. Canderous found work as a mercenary on Taris, being the muscle for local crime lord David Kang. But though it brought food to the table, it definitely wasn't something our dear Canderous enjoyed because he was a warrior through and through. He wanted something more challenging and adventurous that would push him to his limits. Well, he won't have to wait for long when he teamed up with some Republic chaps during the Jedi Civil War, where the Sith quarantined the planet of Taris. Stabbing his boss in the back and stealing his beloved ship, the Ebon Hawk, they escaped the Sith blockade. There, they went on to their Jedi Academy on Dantooine, when one of the Republic chaps became a Jedi, and they were later tasked by the Jedi Council to find the Starforge, which is an ancient weapons factory the Sith were using. Sometime later in their quest, it was revealed that his new companion was actually the former Sith Lord Darth Revan. While his other shipmates were a little apprehensive because, this is after all a former Sith Lord, Canderous was like, "Not to worry, my G, you are Revan. I will follow you wherever you go." And he kept his word, following Revan till the end of the Jedi Civil War when they finally defeated Darth Malak. After their adventures together, the crew of the Ebon Hawk went their separate ways. Revan went off to marry his beloved wife Bastila Shan. With no thrill in life left, Canderous spent the next few years just waiting around cantinas and being a hobo, somewhat like decommissioned clone troopers after Order 66. He eagerly awaited that day, when he would finally be able to go for a challenging quest with Revan once again. Revan began experiencing visions of a secret evil threat lurking in the Outer Rim. Fearing what may be out there, the former Sith Lord turned to recruit his Mandalorian friend. From there, they embarked on a journey to find the Mask of Mandalore, which was a sacred symbol amongst the Mandalorians, a mask which the uniter of all clans would wield as he leads them into battle. Years earlier, in the aftermath of the Mandalore Wars, Revan had hidden it on the icy planet of Rakyat in the hopes that they would no longer be able to unite and challenge the Republic ever again. However, desperate times called for desperate measures, and Revan feared the greater threat out there, that he was willing for the Mandalorians to return to power, but it would be led by his trusted friend, Canderous of Clan Ordo. Canderous and Revan weren't the only people who were looking for the mask, so their journey to find the mask of Mandalore was hardly a bloodless endeavor. Even Canderous' former partner and fellow clan members who accompanied them on the perilous trek turned on them. But after the two had found the mask, Revan was like, "Good luck, bro! Unite the clans by yourself." And off he went into the unknown regions, leaving Canderous with the Herculean task of gathering the clans as Mandalore the Preserver. All things said, he did a pretty decent job at it, gathering many wandering and lost Mandalorians from every corner in the galaxy on the jungle moon of Daxon, where they began rebuilding the next generation of Mandalorian warriors. Along the way, he also got some help from a former associate of Revan known as the Jedi Exile. The final result was a restored and united Mandalorian people under one banner, which was capable of waging war and holding great sway over galactic events. After this point, there really isn't too much else said about the rest of Canderous' life. In KOTOR 1, he initially starts off as this brute who talks about honor and glory in battle, but just seems to like combat for the fun of it. But over his conversations with Revan, he starts to think that perhaps there is more to life than just simply fighting. And that was the whole reason why he became Mandalore in KOTOR 2, was because of his utmost respect for Revan, and like any good soldier, he obeyed Revan's orders. Anyways, that's my video on Canderous' life. I did one in a slightly different style on Darth Revan, trying to rush the story in 5 minutes. I would appreciate it if you check it out and tell me how would you like me to narrate certain things, or how would you want me to phrase certain things, because I'm still trying this out. But as always, thanks for watching till the end, and may the Force be with you.